Welcome back, Tiger Sports fans, for another episode of Tiger Sports Nation. I'm your host, Katie Moore.
And I'm Tessa Coker, and we're going to get you caught up on Tiger Sports from this past week.
The softball team played 6 times last week and went 6-0. They first traveled to Franklin on Thursday for a doubleheader and came home with an 8-0 victory and a 6-4 victory. On Saturday, the Tigers hosted Oberlin for a pair of games and won 3-1 in the first game and 9-1 in the second game. To close out the weekend, DePauw hosted Worcester for another doubleheader and won 9-8 and 4-3. The Tigers will look to extend their winning streak on Saturday when they travel to Wittenberg for a doubleheader. Game 1 is set to begin at 1 p.m.
The baseball team played 5 times last week and went 4-1. On Thursday, the Tigers hosted Franklin and won 7-4. They started off their weekend play with a doubleheader at Worcester. DePauw won the first game 13-1, and they won the second game 13-10. On Sunday, the Tigers traveled to Denison and won the first game 7-6, but lost the second game 1-7. DePauw will be back on the field on Wednesday when they travel to play Rose-Hulman. The first pitch is scheduled for 6:30 p.m.
The women's lacrosse team hosted Denison on Tuesday and came up short of victory 4-19. The Tigers turned things around on Saturday when they defeated Worcester 17-14. Grayson Campbell led the Tigers in goals with 6, while Lydia Hollis led the Tigers in saves with 11. Up next for the Tigers is a road trip to Wittenberg on Wednesday with a game time set for 6 p.m.
The men's lacrosse team played at Wabash on Wednesday and won 11-9. Leading the Tigers in goals was Jack Flynn with 5, and Anthony Reinhart led the team in saves with 9. On Saturday, DePauw hosted Kenyon and fell 16-8. The Tigers will be back in action on Saturday when they host Oberlin at 1 p.m.
The women's tennis team played twice over the weekend but came up short in both matches. They first played at Kenyon on Saturday and lost 9-0. The Tigers then played at Denison on Sunday but fell 1-8. The Tigers will be gearing up next to play in the NCAC tournament on May 3rd.
As for the men's tennis team, they also traveled to Kenyon on Saturday and Denison on Sunday, but lost both matches 0-9. Their next time on the court will be in the NCAC quarterfinal game this Friday at Oberlin. The match is set to begin at 1:30 p.m.
The men's track and field team competed in the Rose-Hulman Twilight Invitational on Friday and placed 3rd out of 8 teams. DePauw collected 26 top 10 finishes, 13 of those being in the top 3, and 4 Tigers collected 5 first-place finishes. This weekend, DePauw will travel to Indiana State to compete in the Sycamore Open, and Daniel Jansen will travel to Oberlin to compete in the NCAC Combined Events Championships.
The women's track and field team also competed in the Rose-Hulman Twilight Invitational on Friday and collected another team victory. The Tigers collected 45 top 10 finishes, 18 being top 3 performances, and 7 of those being first places. Sophie Porter broke the 3,000-meter program and facility record, running a 9:51. The record was previously 10:11 and set by Claudia Monet in 2016. The Tigers are splitting ways this weekend as Katie Moore and Allison Kohler will travel to Oberlin to compete in the NCAC Combined Events Championships, and the rest of the team will compete in the Sycamore Open at Indiana State.
The men's golf team played in the Cochran Collegiate Tournament on Monday and Tuesday and placed 14th out of 18 teams. The Tigers collected a 3-round score of 932. DePauw hosted the DePauw Spring Clash on Sunday and placed 2nd out of 8 teams. Cooper Benedict led the Tigers with a 2-round score of 142, and the team collectively shot a 2-round score of 570. DePauw will be back on the course when they travel to play in the NCAC Championships at the Westfield Country Club North Course in Westfield Center, Ohio.
The women's golf team played in the Take Back the Night Challenge hosted by Millikan University over the weekend. The Tigers placed 2nd out of 8 teams, shooting a 2-round score of 631. Leading the Tigers and winning the tournament was Becky Williams, shooting 1 under par, collecting a 2-round score of 143. The women will also be back on the course next when they travel to Westfield Country Club North Course to play in the NCAC Championships.
And that's it for Tiger Sports this week. Now it's time for Hot Topic, where we talk about something from the Tiger sports world or the greater sports world that we just can't stop thinking about. Tessa?
This past weekend, we had Little 5 here at DePauw. It's always so much fun. There's so much school spirit during the entire weekend. And I felt super, super grateful, and it was just super cool to have one of my own sorority sisters win the street sprints, which was amazing, and then one of my own teammates who won the distance race, Meredith Serpina. So it was a great weekend all around for bikers and teammates and sisters.
Yeah, it was a fun weekend. I want to talk about Friday night, the track team traveling to the Rose-Hulman Twilight Invitational. It was definitely a change of pace. I've not competed at a Friday night meet since high school, but I think the change was good. On the men's side, Tyler Bittinger got 2 first-place finishes in the shot put and the discus, so that was awesome. And then on our own team, on the women's team, Sophie Porter, again, breaking the 3K record. It's really impressive because the 3K, for those who don't know, is not a race that's raced very often. It's between the 15 and the 5K, but this meet they had a 3K. So for Sophie to come out and do something that she doesn't usually race, she was able to break not only DePauw school record, but the facility record at Rose-Hulman is really impressive. And I know we were really happy for her and also happy for Tyler. So I think that'll do it for Tiger Sports Nation this week. Once again, I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Tessa Coker, and as always,
Roll
roll
Tigs.
Tigs.